Thank you, Deepak.
Don't make it too formal about welcome speech, this, that, and all. We would like to finish the entire thing in 15 minutes.
So it's just 1 minute.
Okay, fine.
Well, it's my honor and privilege to welcome Secretary Textile, Mr. UP Singh, who is also the chairperson of the BOG of NIFT, Mr. Shant Manu, DG NIFT, Ms. Manisha Kinnu, Director Delhi, my co-faculty members, Dr. Prabir Jana, Dr. Deepak Pangal, and Dinesh, who have Mr. Dinesh Kumar, who have worked on the invention, Dr. Yashwant Dev, Head of PFC TIFAC, Mr. Ravi Singhe, Director Magnum Clothing, Mr. Narayan, Director Raymond Silver Spark, Mr. Suchit Vasudevappa, Manager Funding Startup Karnataka. After establishing itself in field of fashion, today NIFT has put a lot of emphasis on innovation and research. And this is one of our first steps towards this innovation. May I request Dr. Jana and Dr. Pangal to start the presentation.
Good afternoon to all. Welcome to iSmart by NIFT.
Hello.
The problem industry faces today is multifold. The majority of the sewing machine operators globally are women. The sewing machine operators face gender discrimination, bias appraisal, wage inequality, work insecurity, limited portability. Current evaluation system is primarily an assessment of quality and rate of production. When you look at the way the assessment is done, while the cycle time is taken as the postmortem of rate of production, quality assessment is purely subjective in nature. The important sewing parameters like average speed, sewing burst, handling time, needle running time, etc. are not considered while evaluating skill. Let's head straight to a sewing floor. Now what we see here that there are different operators are running different operations. Now this operator is doing pocket sewing. Now we can see pocket attaching in the front of a shirt. So we can see that she is doing different hand motions. And now if you look at another operator, now what we see here that this gentleman is doing the top stitching in the armhole. Now, this is again a different operations and which requires probably different skills. If you look at this operator who is doing the collar top stitch, again probably another different skill. But what we do is that our work study engineers calculate the time taken by operators in different operations and make nice tables. And those tables today we call the skill matrix, where the operation descriptions are written in the columns and names are in rows, and their performance are expressed as percentage of the standard operation. If you look at the operation carefully now, what we see here that what she is doing short burst sewing with precision stop and also pivoting the material anti-clockwise. If you look at the other operator, so he is doing actually the curve sewing and also rotating the material anti-clockwise. Now, these are the skill component in the operations. Now, these skills are generic, independent of operation, and what we call operation neutral. When these skills are presented in a table, these are called the true skill matrix. And that's how the story begins here. Now, need of the hour is to develop a system that can measure the important sewing parameters while the sewing is being done and evaluate the process skill of the sewing operator. But also that should also measure the quality of the output objectively by image processing and evaluate the quality skill of the sewing operator. The system should be objective, repetitive, scalable, human independent, and operation neutral. And there the technology which is intelligent skill mapping and rating technology. iSmart is developed as a result of 10 years of R&D at NIFT. This patent pending system is generate numerical skill rating value for any sewing operator by evaluating 7 different sewing parameters and by evaluating the visual quality of the output. The system is 10% objective, repetitive, cloud-based, uses minimum proprietary hardware and Industry 4.0 compliant. Now, I will hand over to Deepak, who will explain that how exactly the system works.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Jana. I just take it up from here. Actually, the iSmart system is a two-fold system, one at the shop floor level, another one at the web-based version. At the shop floor level, we need to collect the data by attaching our black box or encoder on the sewing machine, and through a dedicated network, we have a facility to upload the data to cloud-based servers where we can analyze the data and through the intelligent, which are the AI-enabled algorithms, and we can able to generate the reports or the various skill set metrics for the operators. Now, how this all system works, we'll show you. And first, I'm going to showcase how the desktop app works, how the data collection works. These are the hardware systems which are required at the shop floor level. So these are required to be mounted on a sewing machine like this. This is an overall architecture at the shop floor level. We required a laptop, we required a barcode printer, we required a flatbed scanner also. A desktop app is installed on the local machine, which is laptop here, which is required to capture the operator data. We also need to get the information of operator, which is required to feed into the system, this graphic user interface. Once we are done with the graphic user interface for collecting the operator's information, we store locally and will assign the test to the operator. Here we are assigning the test to the operator. Different templates are designed to assess the different type of the skill of an operator. We are assigning an N type of the template here just to showcase a specific type of the skill set of this operator. We also need to print the barcode, which will be a bridge in between the physical template and our system. We are going to attach on the defined template here. Then operator is required to start the test. Once the operator is ready, he just press the start button and desktop app will look like this. Nothing is been recording, no data is capturing. Once she presses the start button, we can see over the desktop app here on the right side, the data capturing has been started. Now, once operator is done with his stitching of this template, she press the stop button, and then an evaluator need to scan this template, which is stitched one, and through the local desktop app, like this. There is specific configuration for scanning, like 200 DPI and other things. And once through the desktop app, the data has been captured, it is required to map using this graphic user interface, which is a part of the local desktop app. And finally, the operator need to upload the data over the cloud platform. So this is a very simple process and very easy process. Now, once this uploading is done, we have a data at the cloud-based server where this data is analyzed using the predefined intelligent algorithms, which are AI-enabled algorithms. And the company or the management for which this operation has been done, they are able to see the dashboards like this for their all operator. This is only in a demo dashboard we are showcasing here. So this dashboard talks about what is the overall scenario of the operator which are tested for the company, and they're able to see what is their distribution, skill set distribution at the 9 different parameters at the global standards. They're also able to see the distribution of the skill set for their all operators for their within the organization. We also have another dashboard where they're able to see the individual operator skill set like this. And if they would like to go further and would like to see for individual operator in detail, so they have this facility also. They can click on any of the operator Aadhaar card. Within India, we are using the unique ID as an Aadhaar card. So we have a skill set and the portability of the operator throughout the India. Now again handing over to Professor Jana to continue from here.
So what we see is that this is the certificate which actually the operator gets directly from the cloud, and anywhere anybody can actually fetch this certificate, which is tamper proof, and by entering three information, which is Aadhaar number, their date of birth, and the operator first name. This enables the operator portability between organizations. So what it does, what it means to the manufacturer. So this is a digitalized skill matrix that is operation neutral, that can allocate right operator to the right operation automatically. It is transparent numerical rating system, no human dependency, and which is a step towards a automatic line balancing, which is industry 4.0, which is also utilizing operator inherent strength and thereby the resulting higher production and better quality, which is easy to maintain and develop and maintain the dynamic skill matrix, which is also helps the company to develop a clear training pathways for the operators. And at last but not the least, this is a scientific and MTM based, methods time measurement based, which is ILO recognized. So definitely this is having a worldwide recognition. Now, what it means to the operators, what benefit the operator gets? The operator gets a digital certificate which is available at the portal, which is again secure and tamper proof, that can be accessed anywhere, anytime, and which facilitates the portability between the companies. And because this is an objective evaluation method, so there is no bias, no discrimination, no harassment, no blackmailing, and no human interference at all. Now, what is the benefit to the society? If you look at, this is a transparent system which actually emancipating the sewing workers from the clutch of supervisors, which is empowering the workforce, thereby transforming lives, and which is also promoting the fair wage, which is the ultimate goal for every retailer today. Now, thereby our vision and mission of iSmart is digitalizing manufacturing, removing bias, and transforming lives. So, which is sustainable as well as futuristic. Now, this is the site you can go and visit to know more about the iSmart. And thank you very much for, this is a brief about the iSmart. Now I'm handing over the mic back to Deepak.
Thank you very much, sir, for guiding us on this technology. We now have Dr. Yashwant Dev Pawar, who is Head Patent Facilitation Center, TIFAC, DST, Government of India. He will be guiding us on importance of patent commercialization.
Respected Secretary UP Singh ji, Deepak Pangal ji, Santanu ji, and my dear inventors. I think few years back when Praveer ji visited my office for filing of patent for this particular matrix and how we could convert this into a device, and we extracted a lot of feature and filed patent, and patent is still pending, and hopefully it will be granted soon because it's an advanced stage of a grant now. We filed a few thousand patents, but very few patents got commercialized, and I must congratulate the NIFT team for quickly commercializing this particular invention before the grant of a patent, because people generally wait for the grant of patents. A patent grant nahi hua hai, to hum kya kare? But I think this active team has taken pain and right step at a right moment to commercialize this particular invention and particular patent. But the commercialization process is not single step process. At each step which we take towards commercialization, we have opportunity to have another intellectual property right. So we should not be restricting ourselves to have one patent and be happy in the process of commercialization. Like you have given a very good name, iSmart. Has it been protected through trademark or not? Or if it has not been done, because if you go and Google it, iSmart, there may be so many devices. So in the area of textile, whether this has been registered as a trademark for this particular class of trademark. I think we should be able to protect that. So when we protect intellectual property, we should protect through all tools of intellectual property, right? Like you have designed this device which you are attaching with the machine. Can you have an interesting look which you can protect it through industrial design? So if you protect your creative work through all forms of intellectual property, right? So if you fail in one IP, you have actually you can really rely on other intellectual property, right? And the trademark, if you are able to protect as iSmart, it will be for perpetual. Patent will lapse in 20 years. The NIFT can get royalty for years together if you are able to protect that as in a trademark. So trademark royalty can also be extracted for years together, and that can be a feeder in terms of revenue and money. So I think we should look at this holistically. And if we look at global average of commercialization of patent is less than 2-3%, but I think NIFT will have much more than that if they go with this speed of commercialization before grant of patent. So I think in the interest of time, with these remarks, I'll close. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us on the aspect of multiple IPs associated with a single product or service. Now we have on the panel Mr. Ravi Singhi, who is Director, Magnum Clothing, and he is there to share importance of iSmart technology for the industry. We hand over to you, sir.
Hi. So, going to cut this conversation as short as I can. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think, we've heard and known of Prabir Jana as one of the rock stars of our industry. I think faculty is never given prominence. And even then, when we are working with Deepak and the team, the simplicity and the humility with which they speak makes it's worth a lot more than just the patent that they have derived. iSmart as a technology will help take away one of the biggest challenges we face in our factories is that operators' assessment is based by a person who can, lack of a better word, push them or entice them for favors. This totally takes away the human element of the assessment stage. The implementation stage definitely will be with a person, but the fact that we can get an assessment done. I was in Guwahati 2 weeks ago. I was talking to some of the bureaucrats there. A lot of people want to come from Assam to the south, to the Burke. The ideal would be to set up this structure in training centers and testing centers in that part of the world. Online testing. Each person has got total transparency and clarity on what their skill levels are. So addressing the industry and the human resource potential becomes really good. If you are wanting to go and set up a factory, let's say 100 kilometers outside Chennai, we load these 3 machines up onto a 609 truck, bring it into a village, workers sit on it, do it, automatically they're getting assessed. You have actually made this a vehicle of like a UPI system. कि कहीं पे कभी भी payment कर दो. So this way we can train, we can qualify, and we can quantify skill. My request here is that as industry, we are used to taking risk. We will punt money on new technology. Something works, something won't, we learn from it. But my sincere request to the Secretary, Ministry of Textiles is that this should be linked into the Skill India program. The moment this technology is part of that, you are addressing maybe 150,000 people at a time. The implementation of this project will give such a tremendous fillip to making people accountable on the training that they are giving. ये ऐसे नहीं होगा कि हमने ट्रेनिंग दे दी, हम आपसे 2500 रुपए ले रहे हैं. ये सिस्टम में सर्टिफिकेट पास का होगा, तभी हम आपको 2500 रुपए जो ट्रेनिंग का मिलता है देंगे. बहुत फर्क पड़ेगा. I hope I'm not out of step and I've given these suggestions, but this is my first dealing with NIFT as an institution, extremely thrilled to see the simplicity and the honesty with which they come across. We are also working with ATDC, another government-mandated institution. And I must say, 52-year-old company, I've been here for 28 years. It's a blessing and a pleasant change of environment when you deal with government, which is working with you. So to all the stakeholders who make this happen, thank you very much. and obviously to the lineage of bureaucrats who have run the department over the last 20 years, I think you're really seeing the fruits of the labor coming out now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us. Now we have Mr. Kaushalendra Narayan from Raymond. He is Director, Raymond Silver Spark, and he shall also be sharing his experience on the importance of iSmart technology for the industry.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Respected Secretary Textile, Government of India, Mr. UP Singh, Dean NIFT, Madam Vanna Naran, our teacher, Professor Dr. Praveer Zana, and respected dignitaries. Thanks for having me here. Silver Spark is a Raymond initiative, and we are the 4th largest suit manufacturer in the world. Currently, we are in the journey of Industry 4.0. And as all of you are aware that garment manufacturing is labor intensive, very labor intensive, where skill, efficiency, and workmanship requirement is very, very important. At the time when this suggestion came from Dr. Jana, we were meeting together in Bangalore face-to-face before pandemic. He proposed these options, and this option came to handy to us. Okay, since we were in the journey of Industry 4.0, and Dr. Jana told कि कौशल इसको try कर. Okay, we are very much open to each and everything, and whatever beyond NIFT and within SSAL we do, we take advice of Dr. Jana कि सर ये कर रहे हैं, आप बताओ क्या करेंगे. Mr. Sanghi has talked a lot about Dr. Jana, since Dr. Jana is our faculty guru, where we are there today, thanks to NIFT and professor like Dr. Jana. So one thing which is coming out, even though being a Raymond, we try to be unbiased towards everything, and we are having 7 criteria, 7 evaluation for operator upgradation, operator training, but somehow the human interventions bring some sort of biasness in the system. We like it, we may not like it, but that is there, that's what we need to accept. Okay. This device is helping us in operator skill evaluation at the time of training itself. Second, we are in since suit manufacturing, right, not even in suit manufacturing, any garment, first time right is very, very important. And this is helping us to evaluating operators to make garment first time right. Okay. Third, in suit is a 3D garment. It is one of the most structured garment where you need a specific skill for particular operation, and this device is helping us in giving that particular operator to particular operations who fits more. Okay. And last but not least, as mentioned in the PPT shown by Dr. Jana, that it is helping us in operator upgradation as well. We are thankful to NIFT, Dr. Jana and team, the inventor, and this is helping us in our journey of Industry 4.0. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experiences with us. Now we have Mr. Suchit C. Vasudevappa, Manager Funding, Startup Karnataka. He will be sharing his insights about the startup funding. Sir,
please unmute, please unmute.
Sorry. Yeah, first of all, thank you and good afternoon to everybody. First of all, congratulations to bringing in all the stakeholders who are really, really important, going forward. And this is fantastic and this is great, and happy to be part of this. So in my view of NIFT, since the technologies are already there and there are a lot of professors who are working on certain of these technologies, and then they have not seen the light of the day. And this is something which happens very rarely, where where you bring in the industry leaders and of course the department heads as well, and the government to support. So I think this is a good beginning. But in my opinion or my view of actually taking forward, I think you should also think of having a technology business incubator within NIFT, so that more and more startups could come and see some of these technologies which have been already developed by some of this fantastic laurels who have really done some marvelous job, and then that could be commercialized using this technology business incubator. In terms of the funding that I would want to just emphasize on is we run a program called Elevate that we run every year on year. So this is purely and specifically for startups. We fund up to 50 lakhs per startup, purely based on innovation and technology based. And series of course, we do get a lot of industry leaders who would participate for us in helping the evaluations of all those startup applications, and then their pitching and so many their ideas, and of course a lot of mentoring and so many other things are also added to this. Adding on to what the previous speakers also kind of emphasized on, I think going forward, a technology business incubator would really help to actually take this to a commercialization stage. And of course, going back to Dr. Yashwant Dev, who was also talking of a trademark, you should definitely have a trademark and things like this is something very important. And if you have one such a system in your in the NIFT institution, this will definitely help in actually looking at of all these patents, and then going to the commercialization stage. And then there's also patent reimbursements to also help if the patents gets transferred to the startups, and then they do get benefit from this. And this is the way forward that I see, and probably some sort of a grant funding that you should definitely keep it as a competition, so that startups who want to kind of come and pitch and take some space within the incubation center, that would be really helpful. And this is a skill gap that basically you are addressing, which is really relevant, and which makes worthwhile for some of the startups or some of the companies who are already established, who would definitely be looking at a precision kind of a skill that they would want, and this will definitely empower them. And that's where NIFT should take this forward. Just to give you a few ideas about what is the kind of startups that we have funded is I'll just take 1 minute of it. So we have till now funded for 488 odd startups in the state of Karnataka, and to an extent of about 116 odd crores, but the startups have kind of raised money 6 or 7 times more than that, and that's been the kind of success. Of course, failures are also part to some extent, but nevertheless, this is kind of the risk funding apart from the central government that we have from Startup India, which the funding programs are running, just recently launched. So this the state of Karnataka is doing, and going forward, I think TBIs or technology business incubators at higher learning institutions like this will definitely add value to the research findings of individuals in the institutions. And just to also share some of the startups that we had in the textile area, and what are the kind of advances or the kind of innovations that they have done, is just to name a few, is Kosha Design, which of course is also working with the handloom sector, where it has developed an IoT based instrument where it is also sourcing from a specific handloom weaver, not specifically from a tier 1 city, from a tier 2 or a tier 3 city. So you could actually get the full information of how exactly and what is the kind of the silk or the material that is being used during the process, and how and where it is manufactured and things like that. So as a buyer or as a businessman, you could definitely get to know from where you're buying. And of course, there's one more in the EcoTour, another startup who has this AI as well as AI and VR, that's artificial intelligence and virtual this thing, where he has integrated both of it to actually fit to see that what kind of a garment you would be liking, and then without taking any sort of a hand measurements, so you could straight away get all these things at one place. And then Fabric Monday is other thing where it is also connecting the tier 2 cities to the actual industries who are related to the textiles. I would definitely love to congratulate here Raymond, who's always been buying directly from the viewers, which this Fabric Monday is now working something similar to this, where it is creating a platform so that the viewers get connected, and there's a business that is also enhanced, and which benefits people across tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities as well. So this is what I wanted to say, and thank you so much for this opportunity, for giving this wonderful opportunity. We have also launched recently. We have also launched Elevate, just to share a few thoughts of that, as that we've received something like 1,500 hour applications in this particular call for this particular year. So going forward, I think startups should take this, or probably the institutional findings should actually get commercialized, and that's where the intent of going commercial, or that giving that little edge for all those findings would see the light of the day. And going forward, I think it will really encourage a lot of people within the organization to come up with more and more findings. Thank you, and happy to be part of this. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us on the startup and innovation. Now we would like to invite Ms. Manisha Kenno, IRS, Director, NIFT Delhi Campus, for enlightening us on innovation at NIFT Delhi Campus. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon, respected Secretary Textile, Shri UP Singh, Director General NIFT, Shri Shantanu, Dean NIFT, Dr. Narang, distinguished panelists, and other stakeholders from the industry and academia. It's a moment of great pride for us that two faculty members from NIFT Delhi Campus, Professor Prabir Jana and Dr. Deepak Panghal, could convert their lab research into an industry solution. It took 10 years of hard work to reach this stage, and it is heartening to see that faculty members are working with industry partners to create such industrial-grade solutions. I would also like to thank Mr. Dinesh Kumar of Design Innova for supporting NIFT towards creating industry solutions. By leveraging our proximity to NIFT head office, Delhi campus hosts some of the very interesting research projects being executed at the national level. India Size and Vision Next, to name just a few. These projects get industry as well as academic accolades. The researchers are also working towards getting the project outcomes published in established journals. On the same line, you would be happy to know that at Delhi campus, we are currently running 2 R&D projects under the endowment fund, one through NIFT and another through industry chair from Shahi Exports. In addition to this, few of the research projects are submitted to external funding agencies like the DST and are presently under evaluation process, and we are very much hopeful for them. Through this platform, I take the opportunity to share few of the interesting research projects which are going on at NIFT Delhi. The major focus areas are 3D printed machine parts for garment factory consumption, fabric defect inspection using artificial intelligence, and garment measurement inspection using AI. Delhi is also creating a state-of-art innovation and incubation lab infrastructure under NFDI for home and spaces, which will nurture more research and innovation by alumni, industry, students, and faculty members. In this regard, I want to share something very interesting, that one of our BFT 2021 graduate, Vaibhav Agarwal, developed a mask making machine and started making N95 grade masks during the pandemic. The total revenue of his startup, Well.Dot, is approximately 8 crores. NIFT Delhi's focus on innovation aligns strongly with Government of India's initiative to foster innovation in the country.
as evidenced by India's improvement in the Global Innovation Index. One of the reasons NIFT Delhi campus has consistently ranked as one of the top fashion design school is because of its research excellence. I would also take this opportunity to invite the faculty members to come forward and explore the needs of the apparel manufacturing industry and develop practical solutions in close association. Interdisciplinary research is the need of the hour, and at NIFT Delhi campus, we should develop an ecosystem to provide such solutions to the industry. I'm sure we will have many such opportunities in future as well to applaud exemplary research and innovation done by faculty and students at NIFT Delhi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we would like to invite Director General NIFT, Sri Shantmanu IAS, to enlighten us on the innovation ecosystem at NIFT. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Deepak. Respected Secretary Textile, Shri UP Singh ji, my colleagues in NIFT, Dean Academics, Dr. Vandana Narang, Director Delhi Campus, Ms. Manisha Kinnu, and the hero of today's function, Dr. Pravir Jana and his entire team, and the distinguished panelists. Really, this NIFT team led by Dr. Pravir Jana, I must congratulate this team for this achievement, because commercialization of patent is really an achievement in itself. And in this regard, I would also like to thank Raymond's Bangalore and Magnum Clothing Chennai for believing in this new technology and becoming one among the early adopters of the system. And this will certainly inspire the others. And as we know that commercialization and innovation is a lengthy process, it has to go through clinical testing and industry validation. And that's why I would like to thank Shahi Exports and Pratibha Syntex for closely working with the inventors during the developmental stage and providing critical feedbacks. I would also like to advise Dr. Pravir Jana and his team to maybe review it after some time, because that was the trial stage. Maybe once we start implementing it on a commercial stage, then we'll learn new things, how to further improve it. And getting feedback from them, and after doing periodical review, we can make it further foolproof. This is certainly very good, very useful for industries, but at the same time, this is very useful thing to teach as far as students are concerned. We know we have students in technology, both UG and PG, and also management. So I think this is very much useful for the students of technology and management departments. So although this has started in NIFT Delhi, but for all 17 campuses, for all students, this is very useful. This can be made a part of our curriculum also. As told by Director Delhi Campus, we have got NFDI, a Section 8 company under us, under NIFT, which is involved with design innovation incubator process. And this is right now in NIFT Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai for different segments. So we did pass through the tearing problem in that. And now toward the end of this year, we'll be in a position that students, entrepreneurs, they can come to us and take up the startup projects. Recently, we have also made a draft startup and entrepreneurship policy for faculty. In the last Senate meeting, we discussed that. We're going to finalize that very soon. So that faculty startup and entrepreneurship policy is again under the broad framework of National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019, will be useful for faculty as well. So finally, I would like to thank again this team for this achievement. And of course, our industry partners have played a very good role, very positive role in this. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we would like to invite our chief guest, Sri UP Singh, IAS, Secretary, Ministry of Textiles, for his thoughts on innovation ecosystem. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. I would be very brief, actually. In fact, I feel that the whole thing should have been done at the level of DG, actually. Perhaps my involvement today was not required. Nevertheless, it's good to learn about the development, actually. What I have understood, I am not getting into the details of the technology, patent part of it and all. I'm only interested in basically knowing how useful this invention would be and who would be the major beneficiary of it. So from whatever discussions just now I heard, I find there would be basically there are two major beneficiaries. One, of course, that evaluation of our people who get training in this discipline would be more objective actually, in the sense that there wouldn't be much of a subjective element. I was just, in fact, before the meeting, Vanda Narang came to my room for a couple of minutes, and I was giving an example. There was a time when you had basically been dependent upon typewriters actually. And I remember we used to hold at district level and all typewriting tests. And in typewriting tests, basically what we used to test is the speed and the accuracy and the mistakes one makes actually. So we used to give a certain word, knowing that an average person, someone who is a typist, would type how many words in a minute or whatever. So maybe we used to give a 5 minutes or 10 minutes kind of a typing test, and one used to be selected based on the speed as well as the accuracy with which he or she types actually. Now, of course, this is the age of technology. Actually, those were the times when we didn't have access to so much technology. So if we have a technology which can kind of find out how a good person is there in his or her craft of sewing, it's good actually. I'm not getting into, but I do presume that this should be a kind of a foolproof system, and which will eliminate kind of a subjective elements which always comes into judging the performance of someone who is on a sewing machine actually. So it should be good, as it was suggested, that whether it's under Ministry of Skill Development Entrepreneur or whether it is a Samarth scheme of this Ministry of Capacity Building, perhaps this could be utilized to evaluate how effective the training has been actually. So that is one application, but more important application is basically that how well our industry makes use of it actually. And I'm happy that some of the people from the industry are here actually. And since I heard that, I heard them saying that this is something which is a welcome development and they would like to make use of it. So the next course would be basically to popularize this technology because we have very, very large number of people, textile players in this country actually, because we are a country which is basically textile players are more in the MSME sector actually. One day I was trying to find out how many companies take advantage of ROSCTL, and we found that more than 35,000 industries are taking advantage of that only. So those are the exporting industries actually, textile units, but then there would be many who would not be in export actually and doing their entire operations in India. So how to make this thing known to everyone and how useful this would be to them, that point has to be publicized in proper manner. But I don't know. Initially, when they came to me, I thought because when I have been visiting textile mills almost every week actually. In last 2 days, I have visited quite a few. In fact, day before yesterday, I visited 2 textile mills. Yesterday also, I visited 2 textile mills in Velvara. And then I found that the kind of technological advances has been made. We always have taken pride that textile industry is a very employment intensive industry. We always say that it implies something like 10.5 crore people, both directly and indirectly. It's another matter that sometimes I take these figures with a pinch of salt. But 10.5 crores is the figure quoted, which one says that this is the second highest after agriculture. But when couple of very modern, very good units which I visited yesterday, I could hardly find many people there actually. It's like everything automated. Maybe 40-50 people in the entire investment of 300 crore of what they have made. And there I find that everything machines does actually. Even if somewhere there is a small bit of a defect, let's say a contamination or something, that is also detected by the machine. If thread breaks somewhere, then machine immediately stops. And in one case, I find that the thread, without, you can't see that it has been joined actually, but the machine itself does that. And only in some cases, maybe an operator has to come and basically join the broken thread. So when someone has gone to an extent of this kind of automation, initially I found that whether this kind of an innovation or automation, whatever you call, would have a much utility as far as the industry is concerned. But if all of you are confident that this is something which will be very useful, of course, one would be very useful to the training institutes, whoever people who are undergoing training, who have taken up training in this trade actually for a proper evaluation, that's fine. But if the industry can make use of it, either to evaluate their own people whom they have employed, or when they are going to employ people for this trade, or maybe based on this, like we have a performance appraisal report every year. So maybe if you also have something of that kind of a system, or maybe you make some kind of a graded payment based on the skill development level which is evaluated by this machine, I would be very happy actually. So I'm happy at the development. I just wish that this is made proper use by all the stakeholders. So I wish this innovation success, and I do hope that this would be useful to all stakeholders, particularly the industries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your meaningful insights. Now we would like to invite Professor Dr. C.P. Chand Matthew, Head Research NIFT, for the vote of thanks.
Most respected Secretary Textiles, Sri U.P. Singh ji, respected Director General Sri Shandmani ji, Dean Academics Vandana ji, Delhi Campus Director Manisha ji, Dr. Panwa, Head of PFC, distinguished industry members, and the proud inventors of iSmart and my dear colleagues. As you know, filing a patent itself is a major feat. Commercialization of a deserves a major attention, and that's the reason we put together a forum so that the patent which is filed and its background and its usage could be disseminated to a larger audience. I take this opportunity to congratulate inventors, Dr. Prabir, Dr. Deepak, and Dr. Dinesh. NIFT indeed celebrates this occasion. At NIFT, we thought it's appropriate to disseminate this information, and approached the most suitable person to actually head this event. And of course, Sri Singh, who is part of the team crafting.
We are not able to hear you.
Dr. CB, you have become muted.
Oh, sorry. Dr. Mr. Sri Singh, who is part of the Ministry crafting innovative solutions for the textile industry, shared the various applications, where in the textile industry more innovations are carried out. NIFT is highly grateful to you, sir, for the attention and guidance that you provide to us. On behalf of NIFT and on my personal behalf, I express deepest gratitude for taking out time and to be part of this event. Sri Shandmani is a man of many hats and a cool mind. Sir, on behalf of the entire team, we thank you for understanding the importance of this achievement and for the smooth facilitation of this event. Thank you so much, sir. A special word of thanks to Dr. Panwar for his timely valuable advice to the inventing team during the patent filing process, as well as for highlighting the importance of patent commercialization in your address. Thank you so much, Dr. Panwar. buses, companies Raymond and Magnum Clothing fall into the tiny group of innovators segment of the apparel manufacturing segment industry who adopted iSmart in measuring its performance. On behalf of NIFT, I thank Mr. Ravi Singh ji as well as Mr. Narayan for sharing their experience and also providing the inventing team an opportunity to test the patent. Thank you so much for Mr. Sujit Vasudeva for the informative disclosure on startup funding. A special word of thanks to Ms. Manisha Kinu for developing a quick grip on the innovation ecosystem at Delhi campus and sharing the initiatives taken by NIFT Delhi campus. Dr. Vandana Naran deserves a lot of appreciation for the continuous support she has extended to the inventing team for the last one decade. A big thank you, Dr. Deepak Joshi, UI IPR, for conducting and coordinating this event despite all odds. I thank the corporate communication unit of NIFT as well as the head industry unit for extending all the support. And I thank each one of you for attending this webinar. I wish the inventors would give NIFT more opportunities to celebrate such occasions. Thank you so much. There are two questions. If Prabhu would like to take it, otherwise we'll close this session. You're mute.
Actually, there is no question answer formal, but whatever questions came, I have answered in written mode, and also given the link of the site, so where the more details are available.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Over to you, Deepak.
Thank you so much, sir. So thank you for joining us today, and we wish you